Simon Jones there. Well, let's talk about the situation in the camp at Calais with Saira Grant, who's Chief Executive of the Joint Council for the Welfare of Immigrants. Thank you for being with us. What do you think about this whole demolition of the so-called jungle camp?
Well, the way it's happening is quite worrying. You know, we've seen sort of partial demolition before, we've seen chaos and children going missing, and that is really one of our main concerns.
But do you agree with it in principle?
Well, no human being really can live like that. You know, winter is approaching, the conditions are terrible, they're just mud pools there. I mean, people need to be housed properly, asylum seekers need to have their claim processed and be somewhere safe after everything they've been through. So yes, I do, but it's about how it is done and what happens to the children. I mean, as you know, so many are going to be sleeping in containers. They don't know whether they should be queuing to register, what should be happening to them.
A number of children brought here to the UK. What do you think of the British government's response to this? What do you think? What would you say about their policy on this?
Well, it's welcome that we've brought at least 54 children under the Dubs Amendment to the UK, which really was passed in May. So what we've said is we will help unaccompanied minor children. But frankly, it is very late in the day. I mean, remember, the government was prompted into action only after a legal challenge. And it was only hours after that that the first load of children arrived. So we've not really done very much. If we had acted earlier, many children at the moment who are still there could be here. We could be assisting them, but we haven't. These children are young, they're frightened. This is really not the way we should have gone about this. But can I make another point, Ben, that we mustn't forget in this, whilst it is vital that the children are helped and they do come to the UK, and I hope this is a start of a process, we do have a duty to assist all refugees, and we're not doing that at all. You know, we only take 3% of asylum applications in the EU. We host only 1% of the world's refugee population. There are vulnerable adults and families there who also need protection, and we really need to be stepping up what we're doing and offering protection to those families.
But you're not suggesting all those people who've been at the so-called jungle camp should come to the UK?
I'm not
Which is what they
that.
originally wanted. That's why they were there in the first place.
It's not all. Most will claim asylum in France, which is right and proper, but those who have family links in the UK should be here. You know, under the legal provisions, they have a right to claim asylum in the UK. But as I said, look at the figures. At the end of June 2016, we granted asylum to less than 10,000 people. You know, far from doing our fair share, we are doing far less, and it is shameful how little we're doing.
And what about the French, you know, dispersing now these people around France? What do you think of that policy?
Well, it's difficult. You know, people are afraid and they don't know what's going to happen and they don't know where they're going, and that uncertain anxiety makes things far worse for them. The French need to give clarity to people, and they need to expedite their asylum claims. This has gone on for long enough with people living in this sort of inertia. You know, let's not forget we are talking about refugees who have fled war, persecution, atrocities, and what we're doing, or what France is doing by not processing their claims, and what we're doing by not bringing those here who have a right to be here, is we're perpetuating their misery. And really, the time has now come to put a stop to this and for us to do something.
All right, Saira, thank you very much indeed. Saira Grant there, Chief Executive of the Joint Council for the Welfare of Immigrants. Thank you for being with us.